From 13 ABC, Conklin and Company, with 13 ABC Action News anchor Lee Conklin. First, with what's happening behind the headlines. And Take 3, our panel of political analysts.
Morning, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Conklin and Company. I hope you're having a great holiday weekend as we wrap things up on this Sunday. Today on the program, the long, hot summer. Not exactly. This soggy summer of 2013. We're going to break down the rain gauge numbers for you. We've had a lot of that of late. And we're going to talk with meteorologist Jeff Cornish. Kind of get a handle on this, perhaps the reasons that we've been waterlogged this summer and what we can expect looking ahead to the last part of the summer of 2013. Hard to believe now, July 4th is in the background and we're marching on now as we move on in the summer of 2013. Take 3 back with Skylar Meadows and Tom Troy, but first, hope for the hungry, feeding the hungry. 13 ABC teaming up with the Toledo Northwestern Ohio Food Bank and a number of other area sponsors to help provide a good meal to those struggling to put food on the table. Here to talk about the food drive and what they do all year round is Barbara Grandowitz, the Director of Operations for the Toledo Northwestern Ohio Food Bank.
Hi.
Barbara, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me here.
We're less than a week away now from kind of the big culmination
Right.
of the food drive when folks can come up and to TV 13, 13 ABC, and drop off that food.
Right.
And kind of it wraps everything up. But this has been going on for a little while now.
Yeah.
The second year we've been involved with you
Right.
folks. How's it going?
It's going really good. You know, like you said, it's the second year, and we have about a week to go for it. Already we've collected over 5,000 pounds for the food drive, which is great because our goal was to meet or exceed last year's goal, which was 10,000 pounds.
Okay.
So I think we're well on our way to doing that, and you know, we've had a lot of support for the food drive.
How are we doing now? Because we're going to talk about the economy a little bit later in Take 3. And job numbers are out for this month, and they're okay. We hear that we're slowly getting out of that the economic doldrums that we have been in for a number of years now. Certainly better than we were in the recession that really hit in '09. But how are we doing as far as the food bank is concerned?
Well, the food bank is still seeing people struggling. You know, we're seeing people coming to food pantries that have never had to before. They're, you know, people who do have jobs and, you know, they're providing for their family, but they're having to make the tough decisions between, you know, getting fuel for their car or food, medicine or food, housing or food. And, you know, a lot of them have not been in this situation before. So it does get better, but then, you know, it doesn't too. There's still people that are held down by the situation they were put in and trying to bring themselves back up, but are still needing help from the pantries that are originally meant for emergency use, but now have become kind of a longer term use for their needs right now.
You've been at the food bank for 10 years.
Correct.
So 03 to 13. Where's it been? Where is it in comparison to when you started a decade ago?
Gotcha. Well, when I started, we were doing about 3.5, 4 million pounds. You know, we were just teetering on that 4 million pounds
Per year.
Per year, correct. And we were doing a pretty good job at it. We had a lot of steady donors, and the processes were going along great. And then we saw donations change. We saw distribution centers that we got product before move out of the area. And then that dried up a lot of donations for us. So we had to change the way we solicited food and, you know, the different kind of donors we had, put in new programs, because as we saw the food, the donations change for us, you know, we see the increase of people in the area needing food too. And the big change happened right around when the recession hit too. You know, there was the small little indicators coming through to us saying, hey, there's something going to happen and we better be prepared for it. So what we do, you know, when we see things happening, we try to, like I said, prepare for it, put new programs in place.
You must adjust along with the
exactly.
conditions, right?
We must adjust along with the conditions because we're here to help end that hunger in our area. And if we don't adjust to it, then we're going to fall behind, and the only people who are going to suffer are those the ones in need.
You mentioned distribution centers, but you know, we make appeals to the public,
right?
And you know, the average Toledoan, and they want to make a donation. What is a typical donation from a citizen?
From a citizen?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it is canned goods. You see your mac and cheeses come through, your boxes of cereals, and those are all great items. Those are what we're looking for. We're looking for shelf-stable items that have, you know, as much nutritional value as they can to make complete meals for those in need. So, I mean, we take any kind of donation besides, of course, your tobacco and alcohol,
Right.
homemade items and things like that. But people are really, really generous. They're not bringing down one bag of food. I've seen so many people bring down, cases of food for us to go through and distribute.
And you're located on Woodruff?
We're on the corner
near
of
the
Woodruff and
downtown
Franklin,
area.
Woodruff and Franklin downtown, correct?
All right. And
Yeah.
this, I wanted to ask you, when somebody brings in that food, when does it get to someone at the table who needs it? What's the process? Where does it go? What are the channels?
The channels are you bring the food into us. We have volunteers that sort the food. We put it immediately on our shelves, and we have agencies and coming through our doors Monday through Friday, 11, 12, 15 times a day, coming through and shopping through our pantry area and ordering off our shopping list.
So there's the umbrella. So you have the food bank, and then the agencies involved. Name some of those agencies we maybe hear about from time to time.
Oh, well, we have a lot of member agencies. We have about 300 in the
Wow.
8 counties that we service. So your local church is probably a member agency. Different nonprofit organizations you hear on the TV are probably member agencies. And it's easy to become a member agency. You're just a nonprofit organization. You're providing some kind of meal or food pass out to those who need it, no charge. And there's not a membership fee to join the food bank. Of course, there are certain guidelines and standards,
Right.
For food safety, and we have to collect statistics too in regards to just being able to report, how we're doing, what we're doing, and to be able to get grants and funding and things like that too.
What do you see for the future now? In closing, we have our food drive, and we're trying to build support, and I don't want to say excitement, but
Right.
there's a great need out there.
You're right. There is a great need.
And what would you say to people who are that perhaps they donate to a number of charities,
Right.
And their dollars can only go so far.
Right.
If you want to make that decision to give to the food bank, I mean, what would you say?
Well, I think any donation to any charity locally is great. I mean, I think it's great that people that support their community and they continue to support their community in any way, shape, or form. And there's more than one way to support your community. You can donate funds, you can donate food, you can volunteer your time, you can be a supporter, you can ask your company to support our events. Just advocate for us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on social media, get your other friends involved. There's many ways. You have a Super Bowl party, ask everybody to bring a can of food. You have a birthday, some people say, hey, let's make a donation to the food bank instead of doing presents this year. So there's a lot of different ways to really donate.
And we think about this weekend, when this weekend is all about barbecuing and picnics and a lot of food. And,
Right.
and maybe some of that can be directed toward the local food bank.
That's
as
right.
well.
Yeah. Well, we hope everybody takes the time to donate in some way, shape, or form towards the Hope for the Hungry drive, and then comes and have a good time at the Blues and Jazz Festival on the 13th too. We'll be selling tickets for that when people come through to support the Hope for Hungry food drive. And it's going to be a great time.
Oh, fantastic. Let's put up the numbers if we can. Jonathan, I believe we have a look at it. The Hope for the Hungry Food Drive, 13 ABC, The Blade, Walmart, right? Dave White Chevrolet
Right,
involved.
Taco Bell, Face Junkie, Imagination Station.
So a number of
Right.
local sponsors all
Right.
teaming up to help folks who could use a good meal
Yep,
and
definitely.
down on their luck right now, and hopefully things get turned around. We appreciate you coming in, Barbara.
I appreciate your support.
Best of luck. Barbara Grandowitz,
Thank you.
Director of Operations, Toledo Northwestern Ohio Food Bank. When we come back in just a minute, the soggy summer of 2013. What gives?